Taryn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, so good to be here, Matt. Thank you for asking me to come along.
You're so welcome. So how long ago did you actually get started here at the Coaching Institute?
It was November 2017. So
Wow,
quite
that's
a
awesome.
while now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so over that time, I know you've achieved tons of success, and I'd love to ask you questions about that. Before we go there, though, let's go back to the beginning. What was life like? What were you looking for, and why did you decide to become a coach?
Mm. When I rewind all that way, it actually takes me a little bit of conscious effort to think about who I was at that point
Yeah.
because I am such a different person now.
Mm.
Um, but when I really think about what my life was like in November 2017, I had just turned 40. Um, I had two young children. I had been a school teacher for quite a while and had worked my way up in educational leadership to the stage where I thought I'd always wanted to be, or what other people thought I should have been in my career. So life was looking pretty good on the outside. My internal world, however, Matt, I was completely crippled with a fear and a sense of just not good enough, constantly measuring myself up against, the success of others. I now have language around it. There's no way I could have put this
Right.
language around it at the time, but I was unresourcefully addicted to certainty to the point where I knew that I wanted a different life and something was missing and I was just a bit miserable, but I was so risk adverse and just stuck in this world of certainty. And I remember one of the calls that I had with you when I was first considering joining the school. We were talking about making sure my ducks were lined up.
Right.
That was my whole life. I was the mother duck running around in a frantic state, just trying to get all my ducks lined up. Now I know that never happens.
They never actually truly line up.
They never line up. It
That's
just takes me to start walking and they all line up
That's it.
behind me. And yeah, so
Was that a pivotal moment when we were talking about that?
yeah.
Like, did you, because I think sometimes people will hear that and they'll be like, no, 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 I still need to line my ducks up. Like through that conversation, was that a moment when you had the awareness in a way to go, oh, wow, it's up to me. I need to stop waiting.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Because I knew and I felt the frustration of I've been waiting, I've been talking about this, I've been miserable for so long. And I remember where I was standing in my courtyard, I was holding the phone to my ear and you told me that story. And it was just this moment where everything just dropped in and I was like, wow, unless I take full responsibility for this and just start walking forward, I'm just going to be chained where I am. So yeah, it was a pivotal moment.
That's awesome.
And I remember originally I wanted to come to TCI because I thought I wanted to learn some really great ways of learning how to ask quality questions so I could coach other people.
Yep.
That's what I thought I was getting myself into.
Yeah. Fair enough, though, because I think a lot of people are unaware of the personal journey that's coming, which is, I'm sure, where you're about to take things. What was it was it the realization that you need to stop wishing, waiting, and hoping for something to come your way? Was that the realization that made you say, okay, I'm actually going to do the course?
Yep, totally.
Right. So when you actually said yes to the journey, were you excited, but were you nervous? Like, were you thinking, holy crap, what am I doing? Was there any of that for you?
All of that, totally. So I was really excited. And there was this sense of, wow, I have just put myself first. I've done something for myself.
Great.
And I remember when I first joined the community, this overwhelming sense of support from everyone, like, congratulations, well done for saying yes to yourself and all. And I thought, wow, yeah, I have just done that. And then at the same time, the paralysis of the fear was there as well, like this nervous anticipation, but also I was still in that place of fear and analyzing, have I done the right thing? Is this going to work out?
Right. Thank you for sharing that, because I think it's such a valuable thing for other people to hear as well. that, and I love the language that you use. It's like, oh, this is the first time that I'm putting myself first.
Mm,
It's such a big thing. And I think it can be scary for people, but also at
mm,
the same time, you know that it's right. You know that this is what you need to be doing for yourself. I think it's a very, very valuable thing for other people to hear, that can be significant, that when you are doing something like this, maybe it's the first time that you're putting yourself first in a long time.
yeah.
And that's scary, but it's empowering.
Yes, absolutely. And there was that really, which for me at that stage was a really unfamiliar feeling. And there was probably some fear
Right.
around that, yes, this is totally in alignment with where I'm headed and it feels good, like that innate wisdom. But at that point, I was so in my head and so in a world of analysis that was a really unfamiliar feeling. So now I know that feeling enough to go, yeah, okay, that's
Okay.
cool. But at the same time, there's anticipation and a little bit of
Yes.
fear and nervousness. So
Yes. Thank you. So you joined because you wanted to learn how to ask people better questions.
yep.
And then through the journey, I imagine that you also discovered that there was tons you could learn about yourself. Tell us about that.
How long have you got?
Yeah. Well, officially, I don't know, like 6 more minutes, but I'm sure you can condense it.
Ah, yeah. So I remember back at my Foundations of Coaching Success weekend, where I look back now and they were, for me now, they're the simple principles, of, the success principles.
Mm,
I know them so well now, but at the time they were huge. The
mm,
simple things,
mm,
like just taking responsibility for your own life,
mm.
was massive. So I learned very quickly that the success that I wanted to experience as a coach had a lot to do on how willing I was to invest in myself, not just in a money sense, but in a time sense, a healing sense, a growth sense. Because I was so used to making decisions for my life based on everyone else's idea of what was right for me, everyone else's opinions. And yeah, like just turning that back around and focusing inward. And the last, I suppose, what is it now, nearly 4 or 5 years, has just been the most beautiful, yet challenging and grueling at times journey of self-healing, just getting back to who I am. So now I know that I can hold space for other people. And it's not about learning all the questions. It's
Yeah.
about me being in a space where I now can hold space for other people to do the same.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. That was a beautiful explanation of what the journey can be. I think it's amazing. So, how is life different now? Because we'll talk about coaching in a second, but personally, if you were to kind of contrast, I know at the beginning you said it's hard to even think back to who you were. Paint us a bit of a picture. What's your life like now?
I can honestly say that my life is beautiful now. I feel internally that I'm more in connection with who I truly am. I'm much clearer on my authentic, unique self that I was born into this world as, and therefore making decisions in my life is so much easier, and there's just more sense of a flow, and my relationships have changed and evolved, and I've moved closer into relationships because I've realized how to take responsibility in relationships and realize my own triggers and to be vulnerable. And professionally, things are great. I'm loving what I do. I'm in complete control of my own time and how I use my life. And I have 2 young children, they're 7 and 5 now. So I can totally be there for them and prioritize time for them. Yet I'm still earning a great income and spending my days doing what I love and connecting with awesome human beings. Yeah, life is awesome.
That's so wonderful. Congratulations. Are you proud of your success?
Yeah, I am. I
Yeah.
am totally proud. And I honestly couldn't have done it without the support of all of the people at TCI and all the relationships I've made along the way. And now I have this inner circle of people that I truly trust, because I know I can show up and bring all of me, and they can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, so awesome.
It's wonderful. What would you say to someone who's watching this, who's been inspired by your journey and is thinking about taking their first step today and becoming a successful coach?
I would say make one courageous decision to jump in wholeheartedly. Be okay with feeling uncomfortable about it, and just do it. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Thank you so much, Taryn. You've been an absolute joy to be with.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for inviting me to come along and share with everyone.